gonna go find someone random and just see if they challenge me to something absolutely crazy. What a beat. Actually never thrown this before on anything. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so today we are at Burgers Lake and I have a little bit of a challenge for myself. What I'm going to be doing today is we're going to be going off the diving board and the trapeze, and I'm going to have all of my friends challenge me to a bunch of different tricks that I either can or cannot do or have not done before. Basically what we're going to do is I'm going to see if I can hit 10 tricks without flopping on 3 of them. Alright, so first one's going to be the warm-up challenge, and I'm going to let my brother pick the challenge and hopefully he's going to be nice to me. Let me see what he challenges me with. Matthew, what's it going to be?
Front and front half.
Alright, that is actually a very nice one because that is very easy for me. Alright, let's see it. Alright, so this is Derek right here. He's gonna give me my second challenge. Hopefully not too hard. This is only my second one out of 10.
Alright.
What's it gonna be?
Mike, I know you can do flips. It's his Instagram. So, I want to see you do a double back. Just pristine perfect.
That's so easy. I will take that. That's a good second warm up. Yeah. Alright. Alright, double back. That's too hard. Here we go. Alright.
If your mom spanked
What did you say?
Okay, so my challenge for Mike today is for him to do a Sukahara to Dodds.
Oh, dude, okay, so I hit this in the competition, but we hit this from almost 40 feet up, so it's a little bit lower. It's probably gonna be actually harder to do it here.
He just has to crank it. If he cranks it, it'll be good.
Alright, so this is called a death dive, by the way. This is not a normal dive where you land on your hands or your feet. It's your hands and your feet. There we go. Alright guys, 4 challenges now. Alright, I already stomped all 3 pretty easily. We're gonna try and up it a little bit, so he's gonna try and give me something probably a little bit harder than what I've been doing.
Double in.
Double in. I have actually never thrown this before on anything. No trampolines, not even into a foam pit or anything. I've never tried this before, so I might get my first wipe out here, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, what can go wrong?
I'm a little bit nervous for this one. I really have never tried this. Ready?
Yeah!
What's your name again? I'm Tyler. Alright, this is Tyler here. I don't know who he is. He's gonna randomly challenge me to a crazy flip. 1.5 with the back flip out of it. I've also never tried this in the water before ever, so let's see how this goes. I don't know how this is gonna go. Let's get it.
Got all it?
Yeah. So, based off of the inspiration of that last challenge, since I've never hit that before, and I'm just kind of hitting challenges I've never tried, I'm gonna try a 1.5 with a back full out. So instead of just a back flip out, it's gonna be a full. I've never tried it into the water before. I've only tried it into a foam pit, and it's not that consistent. So let's go ahead and see if I get my first wipe out now. This is where I get real nervous, guys. Let's see how this one goes. Woo! Let's get it.
Let's go!
Let's go! What a beast. So, I don't know how I've landed all of these so far. It's getting harder. We're gonna go ahead and let Johnny have this one. I believe this is number 7 here, and what's it gonna be?
He's gonna do a 1080 death dive.
All right, so I've done a 720, which is a double death dive, twice before. So I've never done 360 or 1080.
I'm doing this because he's landed all of them, and I want to see him not land one.
Ready?
That's right.
I popped it.
Not wipe out. That was too easy, dude. All right, we gotta make a harder challenge for it.
Yeah. All right, so my dad just challenged me to a quad. I have literally never thrown one of these ever before, ever, just ever. We're gonna go for it though. Quad front half. Let's do it.
You got it.
Come on! Okay, well, there's the first wipeout. It's definitely the gnarliest wipeout. That was awful. Aftermath right here. It's been about probably 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm sure it's gonna get a little bit more purple, but that felt awful. Over-rotating quad to your neck, it doesn't feel very good. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the challenges myself. So the first thing is gonna be a double-double with just a full with another full, so a double backflip with 2 twists. Let's try it. Okay guys, so Landed just a little bit belly heavy on that one. It wasn't too bad though. Honestly, I felt pretty good about it considering I didn't know where I was really. I was a little bit lost in the air. For the last challenge of the day, the cameraman here is gonna give me a little challenge. Gotta be a little bit crazy, something I probably haven't tried before. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Okay, so I'm thinking, because I know you like vortexes so much, how about a vortex triple half out?
Okay. I can picture myself doing this one. I've hit a lot of vortex front half outs, which is just a double flip. This one's just gonna be a triple, which, you know, I'm just saying it's just a triple. It actually makes a huge difference. We'll see. I'm pretty nervous about this one. I will take that! Alright guys, well, I'm honestly pretty stoked with today. I did like at least 6 or 7 tricks today that I have never tried before. Not even into a foam pit, most of them. And I stomped almost every single one. I only had one major wipeout. Little chest heavy on one, landed a little bit butt heavy on that last one, but guys, only one major wipeout. I'll take that all day long. So, it's a pretty good day today. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Stay tuned, subscribe and like, and we'll catch y'all next time.